Your eyes open. You're awake. But something's wrong. Your chest is heavy. Your limbs are stone. And the air feels wrong. You can't move. You can't scream. But you can feel it. A shape in the room. At the edge of the bed. Not moving. Just watching. You tell yourself it's a dream. But you know it isn't. Because this has happened before. And it's happening to others. Thousands. Millions. All seeing the same thing. A figure in the dark. A presence with a face you never forget. Even when you try. This isn't folklore. This isn't fiction. This is sleep paralysis. And what you're about to see may never leave you. Welcome to Mystery Shack, your home for the dark, the bizarre, and the unexplained. Tonight, we uncover the chilling truth behind sleep paralysis, shadow people, and the figures that watch you in the dark. Sit tight, because once we start, there's no turning back. Are you ready? Let's begin. Sleep paralysis is not a myth. It's a medically recognized, scientifically documented condition experienced by millions around the world. Imagine waking from sleep, fully aware, yet completely immobilized. Your body is still in a state known as REM atonia, a natural process meant to keep you from physically acting out your dreams. But sometimes, something goes wrong. Your brain wakes up before your body does, locking you in a terrifying limbo between sleep and waking. You're conscious enough to perceive your surroundings, but trapped, unable to move, scream, or even whisper. The fear alone would be enough, but something else happens. Many who experience sleep paralysis report terrifying visions, sensations of pressure, suffocation, and a profound sense of evil presence.
Last night, I was sleeping by myself and I was starting to fall asleep. I looked at the time, it was around 12:10 in the morning. And I was starting to fall asleep, and then next thing I was asleep, and then all of a sudden I started hearing this noise in my ears. It was kind of like, I don't want to say ringing because it wasn't really a ringing. It was kind of like a womp sound. I don't know. It was really weird. And the louder it got, I realized like, okay, I need to wake up. And then once I realized that, I couldn't move, and my whole body was just frozen. I didn't feel a pressure on my body. Nothing was working. I couldn't move. And then I realized I wasn't breathing, and I kept trying to breathe and I couldn't breathe. And I was telling myself like, Amanda, wake up, breathe, move, like do something. You're okay. Don't let this happen. And I felt every inch of my body on the bed, and I felt every inch of everything that was touching me. And then I felt this presence, and I didn't know whether it was over me, beside me, or anything. I just felt this presence. And then I felt like the breath was getting sucked out of me. Like no matter how hard I tried to inhale and breathe, I couldn't.
You can't move, you can't speak, you can't scream. First one I think I had, I think it all linked back to when my nan and my cousin died. This first sort of experience of it wasn't actually scary, and it was basically like shadows, two shadows standing over my bed watching me. It sounds scary, I know. It was like outlines, just completely black, no facial features, no like, just black. I couldn't move. I could see them, but I was kind of frozen to the bed, and all they were doing was just watching me. They didn't move. They didn't like turn their heads. They didn't move around the room. They were just watching. Trying to move my fingers. I couldn't move my fingers, and then I started panicking. My heart started palpitating. I was looking around the room. My eyes were like going mad because my eyes were The eyes are the only thing that can move when you're paralyzed, and you're trying to scream and trying to speak, and you're like, it's like someone's covered your mouth and they're like holding you down.
Why do so many see similar figures? Dark shapes, shadowy visitors. Science calls these hypnagogic and hypnopompic hallucinations. These visions occur in a twilight state of consciousness. Hypnagogic hallucinations happen as you drift into sleep, while hypnopompic hallucinations strike as you wake. In both states, your mind blends dreams and reality, creating vivid images, sounds, and sensations that feel disturbingly real. But others wonder if it's something more. What makes sleep paralysis more than a sleep disorder is that thousands of people across countries, cultures, and decades describe seeing the same thing. A figure, dark, humanoid, faceless. Some call them shadow people. They appear in corners, doorways, or inches from your face. And somehow, they know you're watching.
I think I was in my room and I think I was really awake. And I was looking into my room and I was already so tired of this sleep paralysis bullshit. It just messed with my head so much. But this time it was actually the most real. Well, maybe not the most real, but it was really weird because I saw a man standing at my the end of my bed, and he was really big, and he was all black like a shadow, but it looked very 3D and very real, and he was wearing a hat, and that's all I saw. But the strange thing is that I wasn't even very scared. I was looking at it and I was like, no, not again. And I just turned around like, no, I'm going to sleep.
One of the most consistent visions reported is known only as the Hatman, a tall shadow, often wearing a fedora or wide-brimmed hat. He doesn't speak, he doesn't run. He stands, watches, and waits. Some see glowing eyes, others only darkness where a face should be. But what's impossible to ignore is that people describe him the same way, again and again. How can strangers around the world, who've never met, never spoken, describe the same nightmare?
Why do these entities need to wear hats? And usually the hats are crazy hats. They're out of fashion, they're weird looking, they range from old-fashioned stereotype detective hats to floppy hats almost like fedoras. Why does an entity need to wear a hat? Well, there are two possible reasons, and one is that these are intelligent entities. They are very smart, they know exactly how to engage with people, they know what they want, and they may have figured out that their silhouette looks a little more terrifying, or maybe even a lot more terrifying, if they're wearing a hat. Hats are often symbols of authority. But I think that it has more to do with how they shapeshift, because the jinn have really no physical form. They can shapeshift into any form they want, and when they do, they often have deformities. They don't quite get everything right. So, for example, if they're mimicking a human form, they may not get everything exactly perfect. And a hat can cover up a very misshapen head. Many times when these entities are seen without a hat, their heads do look very malformed, kind of weird, rumply, almost like a very weird potato. And so the hat, I think, covers a lot of imperfections.
There's another form these beings take. Older, heavier, crueler. She's been called many names. In Western folklore, the Old Hag. In Newfoundland, the Hag Ride. In Japan, Kanashibari. In Thailand, Fayam. In Arab cultures, Jinn. And in Persian nightmares, she's known as Baktak, the suffocating spirit that steals your breath. But no matter the name, the experience is the same. a crushing weight on your chest, a presence sitting on you, breathing over your face, smiling. Some victims say they couldn't breathe. Others say she screamed, or whispered, or simply stared while they drowned in silence. So why does it feel so real? During REM sleep, the brain paralyzes the body. But when you wake mid-REM, you're frozen, while still hallucinating. In that moment, your mind panics. It tries to explain the paralysis, the pressure, the fear. And so, it invents something. Or maybe, it sees what's already there. Something ancient. Something that never quite left. And you become its next audience.
Being fast, terrified, so I got curious. I'm laying down, like face up, but I wasn't looking up. I looked down towards my chest, and so I see this black, like, I swear, I promise on everything. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. I seen this black, smoggy, misty stuff hovering over me. It had to be like 2 inches off of my body. It wasn't touching me, but it was laying on top of me. I seen like little stuff floating around in it. So mind you, I'm not looking completely in it. I'm just kind of looking at the edge of it. So at this point, I knew exactly what it was. It was one of these shadow figures. I couldn't hear it. Apparently they can talk to you, but for whatever reason, I can't hear them. I can see them.
Science says sleep paralysis is your brain waking up while your body is still frozen in REM sleep. The fear, hallucinations from the amygdala and temporal lobe, where fear and dreams blur together. But here's what breaks the pattern. Across cultures, across centuries, people report the same visions. The Hatman, the hag, the dark figure in the corner. Some call it archetypal, others say it's real. Maybe it's not just a trick of the brain, but something the brain's trying to hide. So what do you think? Are shadow people just sleep hallucinations, or something darker watching us when we're helpless? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. Thanks for watching Mystery Shack, where the strange is real and the mind is never safe. If this story unsettled you, like, subscribe, and stay curious, because we're just getting started.